Hey there, welcome back to the athomedive YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joey and today we're in the kitchen making something fantastic. It's really hard to beat creme brulee. The velvety smooth, creamy custard and the crispy, crunchy sugar on top, you can't beat it. So today, that's exactly what we're gonna make. So sit back, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right in. So today on the counter we have a super simple list of ingredients. In fact, it doesn't get much more simple. We're gonna start with 24 ounces or 3 cups of heavy whipping cream, 3 ounces of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. We're gonna use 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I've got 6 eggs that I'm gonna use the yolks from, and that's really all we're gonna need today. Creme brulee is quite simple, so let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna have to do is take my 6 eggs and turn them into egg yolks. That's quite simple, really. I'm just gonna crack the egg right into my hand, let the white fall through, keep the yolk, and set it aside. This really doesn't take very long at all. Now I can go ahead and set my egg whites aside, because we're not gonna need them for this project. Now I'm gonna grab my egg yolks, go ahead and add in my sugar, and go ahead and add in the 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now I'm gonna take my whisk and beat these together until smooth and fluffy. Once your whisk is leaving a nice trail in there and the color's lightened up a little bit, and it's got that nice ribbony nature to the egg yolks, we're ready to set this aside and we're gonna move on to the stove. I'm gonna go and take my heavy cream and dump it into a heavy bottom sauce pot. Rake the sides down just to make sure we get all the cream in there. And then we're gonna bring this up to the beginnings of a simmer. We wanna see the edges of the cream start to shimmer a little bit, and that lets us know that it is hot enough. This should only take a couple of minutes. While this is heating up, I'm gonna go and add the salt and let it fully dissolve into the cream. As you can see, we're starting to get light bubbles around the edge of our cream here. I'm gonna give this just a second, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull it off the heat and go back over to the countertop. We have our egg yolks, and we have our hot cream. I'm gonna go ahead and start ladling this over slowly, just to get us going. It's important that you add the cream in very slow at first, and then you can slowly increase your rate at which you're adding it. That's important because we don't want the eggs to overcook in the beginning. Once we've got a little bit of the cream in, we can go ahead and start adding it a little bit faster. So that's what I'm gonna do now. As you can see now, I'm not using the ladle anymore. I'm just getting a slow, steady stream of cream into this, but I am keeping the egg mixture moving. That's the most important part. So now I have my measuring cup that I had my cream in before, and I'm gonna go ahead and just add this mixture right back into there, because it's gonna be a lot easier to pour this with precision out of the measuring cup than it is gonna be to pour it out of the bowl. So now I have a baking tray lined with a towel on the bottom. This is fine to bake because it's gonna be saturated in water. It will not catch on fire. And I have 6-ounce ramekins. We're gonna fill these ramekins up almost to this line right here. That gives them a little bit of room to expand, but it gives you a nice full ramekin for your custard. Now we're gonna head right over to the oven. I'm gonna place these right onto the oven rack, but I am gonna pull the rack out just a little bit so that I can have better access to it. Set these right on and pour hot water into the pan to fill it just a little bit over halfway. Once the hot water is in there, I'm just gonna take the entire thing and be very careful pushing it into the oven. Our oven's preheated at 325 degrees, and we're gonna bake these for about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on how deep your ramekins are. You want them to bake until they're set around the outside, but still quite wiggly in the middle. It's been 25 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the creme brulee. And as you see here, if we tap it, it wiggles all the way through, all the way to the outside. So that lets us know it needs just a few more minutes. I'm gonna give it about 7 to 10 more minutes, and then we'll take another look. So we're back, and we're gonna go ahead and touch these. And if you see, they wiggle on the inside, but on the very edge of the ramekin, they're completely set. That lets us know that they'll be fully set by the time they have a chance to cool down. Let's go ahead and pull these out of the oven. Here are our creme brulees. As you can see, like I mentioned, when you tap on the sides, they're set on the edges, but they're a little wiggly in the middle. That lets us know that these are perfect. I'm gonna let them sit here for about 10 minutes so I can grab the tops of these without them being so hot. Once they've cooled down a touch, we'll get pulled out of the pan. Now that these have had a chance to cool off for about 10 minutes, now they're easy to handle. You can try to fight them out of here with a pair of tongs while they're hot if you want, but this way is just so much easier. So we're gonna go and get these moved over. Now we're gonna let these cool down for about an hour and then go into the refrigerator. These have cooled to the touch, so I'm gonna go ahead and set these over into the refrigerator and let them sit for at least 4 hours. This is the best part about these because you can always make these ahead of time and get the work out of the way and enjoy them with your friends later on.
One eternity later.
So now we're back and we have our custard that is fully set and cooled all the way through. I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of sugar here. Push it around so it's covering every piece of the custard. And now we're gonna break out our handy torch. So as you can see, as I rotate this, I like to turn it so that the sugar runs over any light areas. And now I'm gonna let this sit for just a second because right now the sugar is incredibly hot. You can see it's still bubbling. If you wanna add another layer of sugar, feel free. Just go ahead and throw it right on top of the other sugar, spin it around so it gets nice and evenly distributed, and then start the torching process again. Now I'm gonna let this cool off just a second longer. Now that this has cooled off for just a second, we're gonna pick it up and let's see if we can hear the crunch. We do have a nice solid crunch, and we have this thick, nice caramelized sugar, and underneath we have this smooth, velvety, super soft and delicate custard. Let's try this and see how it turned out. And of course, it's no surprise that every single time I eat one of these, it reminds me of why this is such a delicacy. Because you get the nice combination of the crunchy, sweet sugar and the soft, smooth, velvety custard. Well, that wraps us up on how to make creme brulee. Comment below me now how yours turns out. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.